Setyembre, binibigyan natin ng importansya ang edukasyon. Ang kasama naman natin sa guest natin ngayon sa Kababayan Today ay isang educator, si Dr. Randy Palisok. Hello, Dr. Randy.
Hi, G. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for being here. So, nakakaintindi ka ba ng Tagalog, Randy? Nakakaintindi ka? Do you understand?
I don't understand Tagalog.
Okay, but obviously you are Filipino-American.
Yes.
So let's talk about your parents.
Okay.
Taga saan sila sa Pilipinas? Where are they from in the Philippines?
They're from Kamaling Tarlac in the Philippines, and they moved to Hawaii in the 70s. And they moved there in the 70s, and my cousin and I were the first ones born in the U.S.
So you are second generation
Yes.
Filipino-American.
Yes.
Okay, so talk to me about growing up Filipino-American in Hawaii, because this comes out in Hawaii. So,
It does.
Yes. So how was it like in the 80s, I presume, or 70s, 80s, when you were growing up? There were a lot of Filipinos around. But what did that mean, growing up Filipino-American, or rather, Filipino-Hawaiian?
Right. I think a really big thing for me was family, because when I was growing up in Hawaii, it wasn't just myself and my parents, it was the whole family there. My aunts and uncles.
The extended family, right?
Exactly. So grandma and grandpa and all there. So I think a really big thing that I had going for me was that familial support. So even though my parents were immigrants, they didn't feel like they were alone. They had this huge support community, and I think that's what helped us do well in the United States.
I see. So, what language did your parents speak Ilocano to each other? Or?
They did. So they spoke Tagalog, Ilocano, Visayan, Pangasinan.
Wow.
And I wish I had actually learned to speak Filipino when I was little. They tried to speak to me in Filipino. I understood perfectly what they were saying, but my cousin and I, being the firstborn in the U.S., we rebelled and insisted that they speak to us in English, which they did. So when growing up now, I kind of regret it because I could have learned earlier when I was younger. So.
Well, you know, Randy, you are not alone. There are a lot of people that wish they could speak Tagalog. But I think it was also a different time then, where you kind of, in the 80s, because I remember coming to America in the 80s, my mom didn't speak to us in Tagalog because she wanted us to fit in. But at the same time, it's detrimental because us as Filipinos are very good at assimilating. And yet now, when we want to learn and we want to be able to speak, then, you know, we're not as open as we were when we were children.
Right, exactly.
Right, but it's never too late, right?
Never too late. That's one of my future lifelong learning goals, is to learn Tagalog and Ilocano so I can speak to my parents in their home language.
Okay, so when you were growing up, what were the stories that your lolo and lola or mom and dad told you about the Philippines? What was their life like over there?
Well, they grew up in the provinces, so they told me about how life was really hard. I got a chance to visit once when I was in the 7th grade, so it was supposed to be a 2-week trip, but we ended up turning it into a month-long trip. And it was actually a really great time just to be able to see where my parents grew up, and to experience for myself how hard it was growing up and a lot of the things that we take for granted here in America that they didn't have there.
Yeah.
So it just really teaches you to appreciate where your parents were from and understand that they put in a lot of sacrifice for you to have a better life.
I know this is something that we can say, and we can say to our children, because I have children now, and you know, I've been able to bring them back, but a lot of the children that grow up here, Filipino-Americans, don't get that opportunity to go back to the Philippines. But it is life-changing, isn't it? How has it formed your identity, being able to go back there?
Well, one of the things that my parents always taught me growing up was, since they had a hard life in the Philippines, that when I'm going through school, just to make sure I do well in school, because by getting a good education, you can have a better life for yourself. And I really listened to that message. So I was able to get into a good college. I went to USC after graduating from high school, and I was able to do that on scholarship.
A full scholarship?
Pretty much paid for everything. So,
wow.
And my family wouldn't have been able to afford that if I hadn't done well in school and so on.
Okay, so wait, back up. You were able to get a fairly good scholarship to go to a 4-year university.
Correct.
And not just any university, mind you, USC, one of the best in the country.
Right.
Because you really diligently took the education route seriously from the time you were in high school, or does that go way back to elementary?
It goes way back to elementary, and I think that's the really good thing that my parents did, is they emphasized it from the very beginning, so that it was built into my mindset to do well.
Okay. Do you agree, though, that it has a lot to do with the student the desire to really learn and to really do well? Because I feel that Filipino Americans place a lot of emphasis and pressure on their children to do well in school. It's kind of like this mentality. We had a parenting panel yesterday, and they were saying how, oh, you know, when you have a Filipino parent, you get all A's and you have one B, and that parent is going to be like, well, why'd you get the B? You know, so there's a lot of pressure, right?
There is, absolutely.
What advice can you give to parents that are really pressuring their children to do well in school?
Right. I would say twofold. One is to have those high expectations for them. And also
so it's okay to have those expectations,
but be supportive as well, and really listen to your kids. I think when you have that back and forth, that two-way communication, that really helps to forge that relationship between the parent and the child.
Okay, so when you graduated out of high school, where did you go?
Graduated from Waipahu High School.
Waipahu High School, and you also grew up in what area in Hawaii?
I grew up in Waipahu, spent some time in Kalihi, and then moved back to Waipahu.
Okay, so all of a sudden, as a college kid, you're now in Southern California. How was that like?
It was an eye-opening experience for me. Growing up in Waipahu, it's predominantly Filipino, so those are the people who I hung around with. But when I went to USC, I met a whole lot of different people who didn't have the same background as me, from white to Chinese, Japanese. My roommate was Latino. He was from Texas.
Yes.
Some of my other floor mates were Hmong. And
so it was just a whole diversity of people.
It was.
Okay, so when we come back, we'll talk about your path as an educator
Great.
and why you wanted to pursue this, okay? Dito lang po yan sa Kababayan Today.